Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, Pakistan. This is Heather Mehdi, and this is the voice of Free Pakistan. This is our weekly roundup of political and current affairs activities in Pakistan's mostly. And my esteemed guest today is Dr. Zafar Bangish. Dr. Bangish, welcome to the program.
Assalamu alaikum, Heather, and my salams to your viewers and listeners as well.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much, Dr. Bagis. And we just want to remind that this is a weekly roundup in English for the English speaking people around the world in North America and Europe, and for the Pakistani overseas diaspora who finds understanding English a little more comfortable than they are in Urdu, talk about second or third generation Pakistani. So thank you very much for watching. Dr. Bagis, it's been now 10 days that the elections have been held. Today is the 18th of February, 10 days, and still the final results have not been announced. They should have been announced on 2 a.m. of 9th February in the morning, or latest by 3 a.m., but it's now 10 days. We don't have the result. That's one development. We'd like your comments on that. The second development is even more significant, which is that the Commissioner of Rawalpindi Division, Pakistan, has the equivalent of a mayor in the terms of its civilian bureaucracy who kind of run the administrative machinery of the government. And the commissioner is a division that has several districts and tehsils under it. They in Rawalpindi Division, 27 members of parliament of the provincial assembly and 13 of the national assembly were elected, and this guy comes out with a bombshell disclosure. We'll talk about that. Two other things related to the media, which is very uh, it's something that we in Pakistan were fully aware, but we'd never seen that happen publicly. The minister of the current caretaker government, Minister of Information, a gentleman called Murtaza Solangi, who himself, by the way, was a journalist, certainly is not now, physically assaulted a BBC reporter who was asking him about, the elections. And then finally, the former information minister of the Nawaz Sharif and Zardari cohabitation government called PDM publicly states that Imran Khan should have been beheaded. She actually used the words in 2014. So that's what's happening in Pakistan. The military is on the run. Things seem to be unraveling. The people are out on the streets. They're demanding that their vote be given back. The election commission has not responded. The commissioner actually named two very senior people in Pakistan's government institution as being behind this, what he was involved in. So I hand it to you, Dr. Bankish, for your comment, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Just as you mentioned, it's the 10th day today, and the final election results have not been announced. This is against the election law. As you mentioned, they should have been announced by 2 a.m. February the 9th, at the latest by 10 a.m. February the 9th. So now, 10 days later, we still do not have the final result, which clearly indicates that there is massive fraud going on even now. The election commission is intimately involved in it, as that former commissioner of Rawalpindi division, which is a very, very senior bureaucratic position, who said in his press conference on Saturday that he was involved in massive rigging, and his conscience has pricked him, and he was even contemplating suicide, but then he decided not to do so, and instead to come out and confess to his crimes as to how the rigging had taken place, what instructions he had to give to the returning officers, the people serving under him, and he named two other very senior officials in Pakistan, including the chief election commissioner as well as the chief justice of Pakistan. These are very, very serious allegations, and they need to be thoroughly investigated, but not by the Election Commission, as the Election Commission has said that they will investigate these allegations. This is absolute nonsense. They cannot investigate themselves. This requires an independent judicial inquiry. At the same time, the Chief Justice was confronted by this issue, and he tried to laugh it off. And then, when other of his colleagues came to him, he said, well, we have a three-member bench that is going to investigate this, which will include himself in it. And that's again a total conflict of interest. The Chief Justice, who has been accused of meddling in the elections and following orders from the army, he cannot be a member of that bench to adjudicate exactly what had taken place. This has
Hmm.
to be done by other judges that were not involved in any way against Imran Khan. So, all of these things really point towards the fact that the system in Pakistan is so corrupt, so thoroughly compromised that no justice can be expected from the courts, no justice can be expected from the bureaucrats, of course, apart from a few that suddenly sort of wake up to the reality that things are really, really getting out of hand. I really don't know the motives of the commissioner of Rawalpindi, our former commissioner Liaquat Chattha. At least he has confessed to these things, which is a good thing. But something is missing from his statement. I wish he had come forward and gone a couple of steps further,
Hmm.
and that
Hmm.
is to admit that when he said that he was under tremendous pressure, he didn't say who from, but it is absolutely clear that he was under pressure from the military, particularly from the intelligence agencies who were pressurizing him. And he should have named them because now the time has come when people must come out openly and confess as to what the root causes of the problem in
Hmm.
Pakistan are. So that is the situation that we face today.
I think you're absolutely right. Only a fair, impartial inquiry will find that the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf of Imran Khan has called for a judicial commission to inquire into these allegations. The gentleman commissioner says that he forced his staff to actually put in 70,000 fraudulent votes each in every constituency to make sure that the Pakistan Muslim League of Nawaz Sharif, which is allied to the military government illegal junta that is literally ruling Pakistan behind the scenes to make them win. So, moving on, this is, I think, Dr. Bangish, this is probably, excuse me, this is a game changing event and perhaps the tipping point that will spark the change that Pakistanis are looking for and get themselves out from the clutches of the military that has been ruling Pakistan for ever since independence. Now that we know, they really have been calling the shot. So this is a seminal moment in Pakistan, and let's see where it takes Pakistan. Will it take it towards a Bangladesh type situation where there is civil war and a split, or will it take it towards a situation where there is a free democratic Pakistan under rule of law? Moving forward, the other piece which is really interesting is the uh, uh, Minister of Information assaulting BBC reporter, who's a poor chap, was just asking him simple questions about, why the election result delayed, and Solangi actually threatened him and physically assaulted him and pushed him back. What do you make of this?
Well, you see, at least now people outside Pakistan can begin to see what happens to journalists with integrity and with honesty in Pakistan. We know that, Arshad Sharif was martyred, he was driven out of Pakistan, and of course, the intelligence agencies were responsible for his killing in Kenya. There are other journalists that have been kidnapped. For instance, Imran Riaz Khan, who was kidnapped, tortured for several months and then released and in a really horrible condition. A lot of terrible things have happened to journalists in Pakistan by the intelligence agencies, and now we see the so-called information minister in this interim government. I mean, the man is illegally in that position. He's not supposed to be in that position, although he himself used to be a journalist in the past, for God's sake. And look at the way he is physically mishandling a BBC reporter. And this clearly indicates the fascist mindset that exists in Pakistan. And I think people outside, particularly the international media, should now have no doubts that Pakistan is ruled by fascists, by criminals, by thieves, and they all have the backing of the Pakistani military. That's why they are behaving in this manner. So, this should give them an idea of what horrible things are happening in Pakistan to the people of Pakistan. At least 30,000 political workers from Imran Khan's party are in prison. Many of the leaders of Imran Khan's party are in prison, including women. They are being humiliated. People's homes are being raided. Their wives are being humiliated. Their mothers are being humiliated. Their daughters are being humiliated. I mean, this is what is happening in Pakistan. So now we have evidence in the international media on the BBC that a BBC reporter is being assaulted by the so-called information minister. So they should open the world's eyes to the horrors that are taking place in Pakistan.
Mm. And it's very interesting that this particular incident happened when the entire international media's focus is on Pakistan, which happened after the elections and the Great Steal, as we call it, the attempt by the Pakistan military to steal the election away from Imran and try and cobble together a helpless, defanged, uh, government which will only be looking at the military for support because it has no support or legitimacy in the election. And the entire media is focused on Pakistan. There have been perhaps I was just looking at a list, over 36 major news reports and articles on Pakistan. I mean, uh, journals like the Economist, who used to have this very arrogant, nose in the air attitude towards Imran Khan and considered him, a product of the military and all that nonsense that was produced, has completely changed its stance. And then we've got the major newspapers, the Guardian, the Independent, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. It'd be very interesting to see how they take this report of this assault, this physical assault. I mean, he actually pushes the BBC reporter away from him, and his hand is going for it. And the BBC reporter is actually showing him where Murtaza Salangi had confirmed the interview with him and the time, because Murtaza Salangi alleged in that encounter with the BBC journalist that, did I give you an interview? Did I confirm a time? He said, yes, you did, and here it is. And he responds to that by pushing him away, and then the goons surrounding Murtaza Solangi stop the BBC cameraman from filming. I'm sorry, I can't show this here because it's a BBC footage and I don't want a copyright strike on this program. Well, it's a horrifying, it really is horrifying. And I'm saying, and horrifying because behind it, as you said, Dr. Bankish, is a mindset. Behind that, imagine if the BBC journalist can be publicly pushed away, physically assaulted by the Minister of Information of Pakistan, Murtuza Salangi. Can you imagine what would be happening to helpless, unarmed journalists in Pakistan who raise their voice against the military, capture and hostage of Pakistan, against the corrupt politicians like Nawaz Sharif Zardari and Murza Solangi, by the way, belonged to the Pakistan People's Party of Zardari. So this is a horrifying moment for the international media. And if anyone in the international media is watching, we urge you to please investigate this and understand what is happening in Pakistan. Pakistan is a nuclear armed state where nobody is tiddly widdly, a little corner shop. And we are a proud nation, and we showed it on 8th February that we will fight for our rights, we will fight for our mandate, we will elect the people we want to. And if you think that you're going to label Pakistan as a sick, man of Asia, and think that we're going to go under and the international community will step in to denuclearize, I will urge them to have very second thoughts. That's the worst thing that they can possibly think of doing. So, moving on to the last thing, Dr. Bankish. Another Minister of Information, former Minister of Information of the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz Sharif, Mariam Aurangzeb, sits in a press conference and publicly says that Imran Khan should have been beheaded. And she makes this sign. She said he should have been beheaded in 2014. This woman of the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz Sharif, was the Minister of Information in the government that preceded the current caretaker government, which was put together, cobbled together by General Qamar Javed Bajwa in collusion and with the permission of the United States, as per the cipher document that we know, which was sent by our ambassador to our foreign office, saying that Donald Lu, the Undersecretary of State of the State Department, has told me that if there is a vote of no confidence against Imran Khan and it succeeds, then all will be well. But if the vote of no confidence fails, then Pakistan is in trouble. So and this is that woman who was a Minister of Information for 16 months. Dr. Bagish, and then we close.
Yeah. You see, it is clearly reflective of the mindset of these people. And let me say a couple of things about this woman, Maryam Aurangzeb. She doesn't even know who her father is. I'm very sorry to say this on air, but that's the reality. And when you look at her, I don't wish to pass comments upon people's looks, but I'm forced to say this about her that unfortunately, she doesn't even have good looks. And I'm reminded of an episode during Winston Churchill's time. There was a woman who came to Winston Churchill, who was the prime minister, and she told him Churchill was fond of, drinking. So she said to him, Sir Winston, you are drunk, and very, very drunk. And he turned around to the woman and he said, Madam, you are ugly, and very, very ugly. But tomorrow I'm going to be sober. So at least, he put that woman in her place. This is the level of mentality of these people that they want to call for beheading Imran Khan. They have actually killed a lot of innocent people. They have murdered a lot of innocent people, journalists, other people, political opponents. These people have no place in the political system in Pakistan. They need to be banished from Pakistan, or they need to be put on trial for the horrors that they've committed. They need to be put on trial for the theft of Pakistan's wealth. I mean, look, there are, according to the United Nations Development Plan report, in Pakistan, the elite in Pakistan take $17.4 billion in subsidies every year, which includes.
It's 1.7 trillion. Yes, it's $17 billion. Correct.
That's
Sorry.
correct. You see, so
Yes.
they don't pay taxes,
Yes.
they get free houses, they get free servants, they get free petrol,
Sir, I
cars.
just wanted to share this. This is Marian's beheading comment sparks uproar. This is the woman when she's making that comment. I just want to bring it in. So please go on to the elite
Yes.
subsidy,
You
sir.
see that these subsidies are provided to the military officers, the generals, and others. These are provided to the judges. In fact, the judges actually passed a ruling
Mm.
that even when they retire, they're not going to pay any tax on their pensions. Can you imagine? And
Yes.
they made their pensions
Mm.
equivalent to the salaries that they are receiving today, and with all the perks and all the subsidies. We are forced to ask, for God's sake, for what?
Yes.
Why are you taking this money from the poor people that are starving in Pakistan? More than 50% of the population in Pakistan lives below poverty level.
Mm.
And yet these people, these elite, there are several thousand of them, maybe a few, perhaps a few 100,000, the generals, the politicians, the landlords,
Mm.
the industrialists, the bureaucrats, the judges, the senior police officers, they are all basically sucking the blood of the people.
Yeah. And
These
and when
people, and these people really need to be put on trial for grand larceny, the
right,
theft of
right,
the,
right,
the
right.
wealth of the people of Pakistan.
And I think so that battle, as we close, that battle is on. And the 8th February vote, which was overwhelmingly in favor of Imran Khan and his Pakistan Tehreek Insaf, actually showed how fed up people are with this elite capture that you mentioned, which is really a troika of the military generals. Headed by an army chief who has unbridled, uncontrollable, unaccountable power, and a very powerful military, a corrupt group of politicians, actually criminals masquerading as politicians like Nawaz Sharif and Zardari, and the big business, and that's where they loot and plunder this country through the subsidies that you're talking about, and little brazen. So we will end with that, and with a prayer that we hope that the people's mandate will come back and the people will fight, and take their mandate back, which is being stolen from them by the Pakistan Army. Until next week, I wish you well, Dr. Bankish. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and all your loved ones. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Pakistan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all those people who are fighting for a free democratic Pakistan under rule of law. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the highest stations to those who have lost their lives in this jihad against this terrible regime that is currently in control of Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad, Pakistan Paindabad. Ilahi Amin. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Thank you, sir.